Hey everyone, what's going on? It's Steve Pat here with another Exceed commentary. And today we have a Chimera Summer Bash round 2 match, as it's already getting started here, between Zain and Kugath. So both these players are 0-1. Zain lost his week 1 match versus Rose, and Kugath lost his week 1 match versus Migo Hunter. So if both these players are looking to make playoffs, this is definitely a must-win match because 4-1 guarantees your playoff berth pretty much. While 3-2 does not. So this is a must-win game for both these players. We're gonna see Zain on red side here with the 9, the Phantom, versus Kugath, aka OG Morbin time, on the Claw. And yeah, we're going to see the typical Claw play of backstep to take the corner, took that Vega ZUA. If you're at the edge of the arena when you set your attack, your specials and ultras at +2 power, so you definitely know where Vega's going to be trying to spend most of his time. We see the turn 1 boost of Uberite of Undoing, now draw 2. After, if the opponent is stunned, they must discard 2 cards at random. Notably, this means that at range 6, 9 actually only has one option that hits, because she starts with only one copy of her specials in her deck. The second copies start in the sealed area. They can be accessed via basically sealing a card with the same speed to get the other copy back. So she starts out with 2 copies of all her normals and 1 copy of all her specials. This means at range 6, 9, when she boosts Kunzite of Keepbreaker, the only card that she has that hits at this range is actually going to be the Navy Pressure. So because of that, okay, so we actually see Zain boost the CMOS Gate from his hand to seal the cross to pick up the second CMOS Gate, which will then be boosted. So basically what this does is that he's basically just sealing the cross for free. I mean, it's not for free, but... Okay, so now he will spend to get the second one back. Advantages that this has over just doing one. It's one card more expensive than just doing it once. We're actually just going to see Zain seal the Grasp to pick up the Lapis Lazuli of Lamentation, and now he gets another action again. We'll take a look at this card. This card basically functions as a super dodge when Zain has a lot of normals in his sealed area. Right now he has 2, so basically this just advances or retreats 2 on and after. But when you start getting 6 normals sealed, then suddenly this becomes an advance or retreat 4 on a speed 7, which is of course absolutely wild. We're gonna see Zain prepare after that. A little bit of an expensive maneuver technically, although if you look at this, right, it spends 2 cards and gets 1 card back of your choice. So while it's like deceptive, I guess, if you're unfamiliar with 9's sealing. Not really sure how Zane's gonna get this after ability against a Vega. We're actually gonna see a reading here from Kugath trying to guarantee this attack. Fortunately, the reading is gonna miss. We see a hand of EX Sweep, Cross, Lapis Lazuli of Lamentation, and Navy Pressure. I wonder if EX Sweep would be the appropriate response. Not right. One Sweep feels like it's gonna get stunned out because it's Vega, unless of course I'm just misreading what this card is. We're gonna see the single sweep response from Zain. If this is like a Flying Barcelona, this stuns out the sweep, but not the EX sweep. So definitely a curious decision there. Maybe it's not the EX sweep. It's actually going to be the pounce. So I'm assuming Kugath actually read a card that would jump in from 9, so like an assault or a dive, and then Kugath would want to hit back afterward. It's a risky play. I don't know. Pounce is such a good card that just feels just like it hits so well that sticking like an advance reading on it, so reading a card with advance on it, into a pounce just seems like missed value because it feels like just this card's just so easy to hit, right? It's Vega's probably most reliable special. Has 6 defenses, 7 power. Just so super reliable. Although maybe 9 is quote unquote, or can be played as a quote unquote zoner character. So maybe Kugath felt like this wasn't a reliable card, but I still think this card is super reliable. So we see the light boosted after a prep from Zain. Of course, Zain did reveal his hand 1, 2, 6 Lapis Navy and 2 extra cards. Vega does have a second reading in here somewhere, so Zain will have to be cognizant of that. Does not have does not wish to reveal a reading. Probably doesn't have one at this time. We see the parry come out. Parry misses. Let me just go ahead and fix that for them. Let me just double check. Yeah, okay. Looks good. I don't know what the parry was on. I didn't see the hand because I wanted to make sure. There's like a duplication glitch going around where, like, if I think one of the triggers is if the card isn't placed properly on top of a pile. So I just wanted to place that on the pile for them without kind of interrupting them. So I didn't really see what the hand was. Looks like we're just going to see CC out the normals. Oh no, we're actually just going to see an expenditure of 2 normals to move to range 2. Interestingly, drops the spike for it. Notably, both CMOS gates are down, so an initiation of a spike from Vega would be 5 speed on curve at range 3, however, not to play. We're going to see Zain opt for a reading here. Surely both the normals were dropped here from Kugath, and he doesn't have another one, right? Oh, he does have it. So now this is an even more curious decision on why Kugath dropped some normals but not others. Kugath had a reading in hand and didn't read the what? I feel like just on account of missing that one little hand tip, I missed so much context. That just feels... So Kugath had another reading in hand, which is clearly red, but couldn't punish 9 off it. I guess he was at range 4 initially, so just had to dive. So I guess didn't really have a punish to the focus sweep or cross shapes, which I guess makes sense. Okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense. We're just gonna see the Heliodor of Humility boosted. +1, it's a defend boost with a now seal on it, so it's a defend boost that actually is quote unquote free. Not free, but gets you free, what's the word I'm looking for? Recursion if necessary. So Zain seals a sweep and brings back the Amethyst, of course. Fierce gets boosted from Vega, immediately teched by 9 back to Vega here. Yeah, so curious decision there to keep all the normals. We're just gonna see Assault boosted, second copy of Assault boosted as backstep for Vega, moving back to range 8, where again the only card that hits for 9 is actually gonna be this Kunzite. But the problem is one Kunzite's in the discard and the second one is stuck in sealed area. So 9 will, if she wants to hit this combat, she will definitely need to move forward. Actually, the Navy pressures are both down 2 at speed 7, so she'd have to move up quite a bit. We'll need to move up to range 5, which is her next card that hits, which is the Morganite of Malice, hits 35. So range 8, not the best range. We're just going to see a parry come out. Parry's probably going to be on the Flying Barcelona kick, which is the only card from Vega that hits at range 8. Actually, cards from Vega hit at range 8 with Claw in play. Maybe they... I feel like they don't, but this is the Flying Barcelona that was just parried. We'll take a look at this. Critical +2 power before advance as far as possible than close ones. Basically, when Vega has a card for every range, right? So Vega has a couple close, quote-unquote close range cards in the Scarlet Terror and the Pounce, which hit range 4. This actually also hits range 4. And then this one can hit up to range, 6? And then this one can hit full board. So I guess kind of specific tools for the longer ranges Vega has. As Vega basically texts the Heliodor Humility. Feels a little bit like a pass turn, because I guess the quote-unquote onus is on 9 to move in at this juncture, even with one Flying Barcelona down. Second one could be up. We actually see the Fierce boosted from 9. Surely you just kind of Kind of let this one go, yeah. Just let it go. Maybe you're not. Maybe you can't let it go with a wild swing, just because all of Vega's stuff actually like closes. So like if you close and then 9 hits you back, you're in trouble. But again, like nothing hits for 9 here. We're actually just gonna see the repelly boosted, discarding the claw. Wow. I guess didn't want the claw, so we are going to get +2 power on this strike. Basically, it's what Repel Leap says. It's very poorly worded. Into an EX attack, and this is going to be what EX. It's not crits. This would be EX Sky High Claw maybe at speed 4. So EX Sky High Claw at speed 4 gets beaten out by the Morgknight of Malice, and that'll be a 5-power Morgknight of Malice to boot. The issue is like it's really difficult to see what else Vega could be telegraphing here. It could be the RCF in theory. RCF would be speed 6. Speed 6, power, 6? The Sky High Claw would be, EX Morganite is, it's gonna be the EX Amethyst. EX Amethyst will work. Or will, not work, excuse me, because this is gonna be a 7-power Sky High Claw. EX Amethyst would have worked against the RCF, which was only 6 power, but will not work against the Sky High Claw. This is a 7-power Sky High Claw. Amethyst will be stunned, taking 6 damage. So yeah, Zain had to call a little bit of a mix-up there between Sky High and RCF. Calls it wrong, and takes decent damage for it. Spends both Amethysts in the process as well. Although Vega only has 2 cards in his hand for now, so maybe this is a relative position of power. 9 strikes. She has a speed 7 option here if she wants. Feels like a slow, though. It is actually going to be the speed 7 option. Just get out of the corner. I don't even know if you want to get out of the corner as 9, because then Vega just takes the corner. Validates with Assault. On hit, may seal a card from the discard pile, so we'll bring a card back. So seals that focus to bring back the Navy Pressure into hand. And then can choose to advance or retreat up to 2 because he has 4, or up to 3, excuse me, because he has 4 normal sealed. Block will just hit the gauge for free. 9 chooses not to do the 9 shuffle with the hit effect on her UA. Back to Vega here. I mean, Vega can yoink the corner for free, so there's like guaranteed value there if Vega just wants to do it. Vega actually going to initiate a strike here. Range 3 mix-up live for Vega here. Assault, Dive, Spike. No assaults, however, up. So just Dive, Spike. I mean, if 9 has an assault, surely she initiates with this, unless this is the Range 3 sweep, of course. Technically, I mean, it wasn't crit, so I don't expect to see something like a cheeky Scarlet Terror there at speed 6, but it's only speed 4. So yeah, just a Dive Spike mix up. I believe one of each is down. No gauge for the Ultras, notably. So it feels like maybe you just initiate with a more... Zain has a Morgknight or an Assault, he just plays that, right? Oh, notably, if Zain had the speed 6 option on the turn that Vega played EX, that would have worked. Because it pushes both cards out of the way, both EXs out of the way. But he did not. Actually, no, it doesn't push the RCF out of the way, what am I saying? Anyway, Zain does have the Morgknight Mouse. It is the... It's a... I don't know why we're initiating with Cross. Just discard the Cross to move back 1, man. It's too cute. I like a defensive, evasive cross. I do not like a cross like that in neutral, because you're giving the turn to your opponent, and you get hit on top of that by the Morgknight, which was revealed by Zain. Zain also gets 2 gauge off it, so now can exceed if he wants. Zain will just prepare. I really don't like that at all. Like, literally just spend the force to move back 1. You get a card. You're not playing a card that loses combat, right? So you're not taking damage. It's cute. It's too cute, man. It's too cute. I don't like it at all. As Vega will have to prepare. Obviously, yoinked out of the corner there by 9. Yeah, I'm really not a fan of that cross initiation from Kugath there. Anyway, 9 does have the Exceed side available. Notably, Exceed side seals cards from discard, so you do want to be exceeding before you hit reshuffle. However, 9 could have plans to maybe not use the Exceed side, maybe use off Flame Punisher, but I'm not sure. Zain looking like he wants to strike here, interestingly enough. I think if you're going to Exceed, this is the time to do it, and yeah. Exceed called here for Zain. Take a look at the Exceed side. Look at that Overdrive ability. You may seal a card from your discard pile. So basically, any of these cards can get recurred by 9, which is absolutely wild. So you can get an additional reading. Hey, you want to strike with Cross to run away from your enemy? Fine. Hey, you want to, I don't know. Just the possibilities are endless, right? You want to boost Light, you can boost Light. So that's the Overdrive ability, which is just absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. See, it's like this position at range 2, a cross initiation makes more sense because your cross will hit the gauge, right? So Vega's a character that's a little bit, I don't want to say starved for resources, but Vega's a character that definitely wants every resource he can get. As we see the defend boosted, that's the second spike from Vega, boosted at range 2. And we're going to see the overdrive trigger for 9. She'll discard the Morganite from her overdrive area to seal a card from her discard to retrieve a card. So she will seal the dive to bring back the Coral of Catastrophe. Honestly, this is a 2-3-8-4 right now. But look at that boost. That boost is absolutely insane. It's one of the best boosts in the game, in my opinion. Just such a good, reliable boost. You basically, if you're playing correctly, it just feels like you can never get hit back when you play this boost. You can just never get hit back. It's absolutely insane. I mean, Zain looking... Both players checking each other's discards now. Notably, Kugath is out of reading. I believe Zain has one left. Zain can obviously just recur a reading whenever he wants on backside 9. So it's important to note what options are left. 9 does bleed information a little bit faster than the average Exceed character on account of the fact that she's recurring cards from her sealed area, which are known. And also she has a smaller deck than other characters at only 25, so just... that deck pile will thin out faster for 9 than it will for her opponents. Yep, and we're actually just going to see the reading called out here for Zain. We know Zain, we've seen Zain before, we know he loves to go for these readings. Unfortunately, in the past, he's gotten burned by going for like a low percentage reading and then playing a card that doesn't win. So I want to see Zain go for a reading that's, he's going to play, I want to see Zain play a high percentage combat card and pair it with a reading here. And it looks like it's going to be the EX. This EX is relatively known on what it could be. The only thing is I don't know what it is, because I haven't really been paying the most attention. The reading whiffs, obviously. 3 cards in hand. That reading was a little bit... I mean, the reading gets you the hand info. Unfortunately, this hand info doesn't really reveal too much. Is this EX Spike? Has Zane's story, maybe? I feel like I haven't seen Spike from Zain all game. Maybe I'm misreading it. In which case, that hand looked pretty bad against Spike. It was an RCF, a Pounce, and an unplayable Ultra. So EX Spike is actually looking really good into Vega's hand. If this is the EX Spike, Vega will have to wild swing this. Especially down both assaults left in the deck. Like, Vega's cards are all slow, right? They're all like, super slow. So this EX Spike initiation is going to be actually very good if it is the EX Spike, especially with Vega having both assaults down. Undoubtedly, can like if this was an answer that could be in hand. There's one left in Vega's deck, I believe, but it's just all these cards do not answer EX Spike well at all. Actually, Spike's okay. Spike's actually been marked. So Kugath marks his normals down. Spike's actually been marked down. So I have no idea what this is now. Oh, is he playing EX Coral? Which is basically just a super spike at speed 5. You see Vega drop a cross as well, the turn prior, which would be an out against a speed 5 Coral. We'll take a look at Coral here. So this is going to be if it is EX Coral, this is a 9 power EX Coral that's being threatened now at speed 5. Vega needs a cross to deal with this. Unfortunately, we just saw Vega null beat across for some unexplored reason earlier, so Zain says, okay, I'm going to take the bet here. Pairs it with a reading as well. Crit Pounce does have 10 defenses here, so we'll answer that, technically. And yeah, it is the Crit Pounce from Vega. So Coral Catastrophe will go first. This has 9 total power. Vega will take 6 damage and is not stunned. And we'll close 2 and we'll hit back for 4 after armor. Yeah, Crit Pounce with the defend boost has 10 defenses, so unless you have an ignore armor, ignore guard, that's pretty much never getting stunned. So Vega will take 6 damage, and we'll close 1 and hit back for 4. And we'll yoink a card out of Zane's hand as well. Okay, there we go. We have it. We have game state fixed. Zane took just 1 additional damage there. Both players on really low hand size here. I believe it is Vega's turn since that was a focus initiation from 9. Vega at range 1. A little bit of an uncomfortable position depending on what normals are left here for Vega. I think Vega, if Vega's out of focuses, Vega might have a sweep left for a slow option. Might have a grasp left for a fast option as well. But Vega's standing mid-board here without any assaults left in the deck, so no easy backstep access. The hand was RCF. So RCF might be decent. Just to cross over and key charge, get that 3rd gauge for the Ultra. I believe the Ultra in the hand was actually Bloody High Claw. So Bloody High Claw's a decent threat here, right? Although not at range 3, unfortunately. But I think High Jump is exactly move 3. So that would put Vega out of range for that Ultra. Anyway, 9 Overdrive goes off. Drops the Assault from the Overdrive, can now seal any card that he wants, of course. Such as 9. Wonder what range 9 wants to keep against Vega. Vega, if 9 strays too far away from Vega, Vega might be able to initiate with something nasty on his turn. Might be, especially with the prepare action taken from Vega. There. Looks like we'll seal the Lapis, Last Belief Lamentation, to bring back a Grasp into hand. Is 9 actually just going to strike with a Grasp here? We saw both focuses down. On defense, we saw both pounces drop, right? We saw 1 pounce drop. We're actually just going to see the Heliodor Familiarity drop. Sealing Spike to bring back the Kunzites. So actually, the hand is known. It's Grasp, Kunzites, and 1 final card. Notably, reading would be okay for Vega, except he doesn't really have a punish. I feel like. Just because, like, look at these cards, right? They become very niche at range 1. These specials. So it would have to be a normal that has been drawn. We're actually just going to see the high jump boosted now. So it'll be key charged, and then Vega crosses over to range 3 as well. Vega builds range number 3. It is now back to 9. 9 will seal a card and bring back a card. Range 3 now. Wonder what 9 actually brings back here. Maybe bring back the light and then just boost lights. Might not be a bad play here for 9. Although, now at range 3, you do want to be wary of keeping that oh no, Vega's out of reading, so we don't have to worry about keeping Grasp in our hand. Maybe I want to see a seal Amethyst, bring back light, and then boost light, depending on what's left in 9's deck. We do know 9 does have that ignore armor option in her hand right now. That would be the Kunzite. With a light, that would be speed 5. It does notably lose the sweep at range 3, but performs pretty well. Outside that, we're actually just going to see the Grasp Seal to bring back the Lapis Lazuli Implementation. So the 3 known cards in hand are going to be that Lapis, the Grasp, and the Kunzite. Actually, with Defend boosted, you don't really need... probably into Vega, you might need it. Just because Vega can be a little bit of a powerhouse character. As far as power is concerned. Maybe these defenses aren't enough for a raw Kunzite. It's going to be the backstep to range 7. Interesting. Interesting. I mean, obviously, we're threatening the Kunzite here, right? Which is speed X. I guess not so interesting. Because, like, Vega can initiate with a Flying Barcelona here. To try to blow up that, but that's, like, super telegraphed as well, so... This actually makes total sense from 9. As Vega retreats to range 8. So now we'll just get hit by Kunzite for free? Back to Zain here. We'll perform his last overdrive trigger. So he's 18 in the discard, 5 in the deck. Wonder if this means Zain goes for a reading into Kunzite here. With the focus available on deck in the sealed area, of course. But the issue is there's no EX Flying Barcelona, right? So that would be a speed 4 option, which outspeeds the speed 3 Kunzite. The issue is nothing else from Vega hits at range 8, right? That gets close with a claw, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Doesn't get close with a claw, actually. This would be range 1 to 2 with claw. So I mean, Kunzite's just free here, right? When Vega spends a force to move to range 8. Very, a little bit of a curious play there, for sure, from Vega. Like, I get you want to take the corner, but you're not actually threatening anything this strike. Maybe he just wants to take the Kunzite and then threaten for, just says, okay, I'm going to lose this strike, I know that, but I'm going to take position for the next strike, is, I'm assuming, what Vega's thinking there. Anyway, Zain steals focus to bring back the focus. Reverts back to front side. Now it's 4 known cards in his hand, I believe. Is it 4? Yeah, I think it's 4, because he boosted Assault last turn. So I believe he still has a Lapis, he has a Grasp, he has a Kunzite, and he has a Focus now. I wonder if he goes for the reading now. Doesn't really have to go for a reading now. Because... I mean, Vega's going to get hit by this Kunzite, right? So Zain can pair this with a reading if he wants to pair it with an Assault or a Dive to force Vega out of position. And that might actually be worth it. Might be worth it. However, if Zain thinks maybe that reading would be better saved for a later combat, I wouldn't blame him either. I think both plays seem like adequate. Notably, once Vega exceeds, a critical Flying Barcelona would be 4 speed. But Vega doesn't. That's too far away for Vega. So we're actually just going to see the Fierce boosted for 9. So now this Kunzite does 7 power. Vega spends a turn doing nothing, so we'll now take, or we'll exceed, obviously, but... Oh, wait! This is not a critical effect. It's just a regular effect. Okay, yeah. This is not a turn do nothing. This is the perfect response for Vega. Because now Vega's threatening a speed 4 Flying Barcelona to counter the speed 3 Kunzite. And now 9's actually in trouble, funnily enough. Just got my wires crossed a little bit. My anti-Vega play is so bad. Vega's the character. If you wanna beat me, Vega's the character to do it with. Anyway, now we're threatening a speed 4 Flying Barcelona from Vega. Does Zain have a parry left to deal with this? I don't know. I don't know if Vega or if 9 has a parry to deal with this. But this speed 4 Flying Barcelona, I wonder if Zain can... So the thing is, Zain can totally play like a fake here. Right, he can play... Or you can just go for a reading to try to hit the Kunzite. But he can totally go for a fake, right? And play like a slow guarded option. I don't know if 9 has a slow guarded option left in her deck though. Because we saw both Amethyst drop and we see a sweep in the discard. It's like to attempt to trade with the Flying Barcelona. But that is pretty risky given the fact that this Flying Barcelona is going to be, what, 8 power? No critical available for Vega, so at least it's not 10 power. But we're going to see Zain attempt to defuse this with a patented Zain reading. Wonder what... I mean, Zain just has to call it right. I mean, no, doesn't call it right. Is there a flying... There's no Flying Barcelona in hand. Oh my. So, Vega has a 1 in 4 to hit this Flying Barcelona. Oh no. I guess, so what we saw there was Kugath baiting Zain into doing something. Unfortunately, Zain did the thing that was not in Kugath's favor, which was a reading. And then the 1 in 4 does not hit for Vega, and Vega takes 7 damage. That's a big swing. That's a huge, huge swing. I would have expected Vega to not be bluffing there with the Exceed. Especially with a hand with 3 Ultras. I guess he kind of ran out of time. I don't remember what Vega's action was the turn before he was Exceeding, but I guess he kind of ran out of time to do everything that he wanted to do. Was just hoping that the second copy of Flying Barcelona would fall off the top, but did not happen. I'm assuming actually Zain probably actually read this cross. Anyway, we are at range 8 still, so I mean, Flying Barcelona is a threat in the future whenever Vega draws it. However, Vega takes a huge combat loss for that, right? Vega takes 7 damage off the Kunzite. Anyway, it is Vega's turn here. I don't think Vega goes for like a reshuffle action just because you really do want that Flying Barcelona. Did have both Mask and Claw available. This is going to be CC maybe? Yep, CC's a Mask and a Claw away. Interesting, he keeps a Mask in his hand over a Claw. So this looks like it would be a CC action. CC 4, drawing 5. We'll draw 3 off the top. Hand is revealed. Or hand is known, rather. It doesn't have to be revealed, and then we'll draw 2 more. Normally did not, like, tip the hand or give Zain enough time to, like, look at the discard. Wonder if Zain will complain about that, and he does have a right to, I think, in that scenario if he so chooses. Kugath discards the Grasp, and then, like, shuffles his hand afterward. Like, normally, like, it would be... I mean, like, hand tip's not necessary, but you should give your opponent enough time to take a look at their discard. But I'm assuming they're in voice chat, and Zain just didn't want to look at the discard is how I'm reading the situation. Anyway, 9 has 3 cards in hand, 1 card left in deck, so her hand is super known at this point. Her hand's already super known just because we know we know there's a Lapis, we know there's a Focus in there as well. Actually, no, Focus has dropped, so I think this is just Lapis and 2 unknown cards. Unless I've just not been paying proper attention to the game. But 9 here at range 8, both Kunzites are down. So nothing she has will hit here at this range. Does have to deal with the impending Flying Barcelona at 8 power next turn. Zain actually gonna go for the reshuffle here. And, of course, Season 5 characters, so we'll bring back the Astral. Colorless Void. 399. This attacks gauge costs reduced by 1 for each normal sealed area. Mostly a trick shot, although here we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 normal sealed. So this is a 3 gauge Ultra. Gets immediately parried by Vega. So it's not actually unforeseeable for this to have been a playable thing. But obviously Vega just never stands at range 3, right? So, there you go. Normally there could be some cute setup with, like, you could boost a Coral, play an Assault and then retreat back to range 3 and then play the Colorless Void. Which would be very funny. But no, Zain just prepares. It's back to Vega. Vega has the Flying Barcelona in hand. We know this. Unless Vega didn't have a Flying Barcelona left in deck. In which case, like, what is he doing? But I'm pretty sure Kugath does have Flying Barcelona. We're seeing the Repel Leap boosted. Vega moves to range 2 and strikes. So this Repel Leap means that this Vega has +3 power, +1 speed. This is like a very good boost, basically. +3 power, +1 speed, now strike for 2 force is not bad at all. Wonder what Vega's playing here at range 2, which is a little bit closer on the specials, so probably just a normal? Maybe just an assault? Maybe I feel like it's not a spike. I feel like if it was a spike, Vega would have moved to range 3. Maybe he moved to range 2 to defend against an Emerald at speed 6. But this could be a very scary situation for Zain. Interesting that Vega wanted to, was willing to give up that much position to advance 6 right out of the corner. Where just a simple Flying Barcelona would have done the trick, but once the extra power and speed on this card, whatever it is, assumedly it's a normal. No gauge for ultras either. Is this just the lamest cross ever at 6 power, 7 speed? I wonder. Cross is kind of weird because it puts you in like a mid-range situation as Vega into 9 without you having the corner, which is like super weird to deal with. Maybe. So maybe it's not that. Maybe it's not a cross. Could it be like an assault, perhaps? Zain's going for an assault. Feels like that loses. It is gonna be the cross. It's gonna be 6 power cross. Should be 6 power. Yeah, this wording is super weird, but it does apply to normals. It's so weird. Yep, Zain takes 3 more damage. It's just so, like, jankily worded. Like, I have no idea why it's worded like that. I guess they just, like, kind of ran out of space, perhaps. Oh, they're asking me. Anyway. I'm just checking to make sure that's a thing. Yeah, that's a thing. Yeah, there's no way Vega comes up to here and plays a 3 power cross, right? Anyway, 9 now at range 5. We're just going to see the Seamoss Gate boosted. Notably only 3 cards in the discard, so it's actually just going to be the Ceiling of the Assault, which was the combat card to bring back the Morganite Mouse at range 5. Hits for 4 power at 5 speed. Notably with a pull effect, so it does lose to Sweep Likes. Does lose to Pounce as well. Not lose, but trade. Zain should be shuffling his hand here. I believe the Morganite is the center card here. Wait, Zain not checked with the Morganite? Huh, interesting. Is this Navy Pressure? What is this? It's not the Morganite, right? Because did Zain shuffle his hand and I missed it? Maybe he shuffled his hand and I missed it, but yeah, it wasn't. It was the Flame Punisher. Okay. Vega plays Focus to mitigate some damage, but we'll take 5 for it. The push 2 does not apply, although Vega probably does want to be pushed 2, so he can just spend 1 force to move to the corner. And then Flame Punisher, for some reason, gets guaranteed after value of draw 2. Just in case 9 wasn't overloaded enough. We put an additional draw 2 on a stun immunity for some reason. Anyway, Vega takes 5 damage. Stays at range 5. We're going to see what prepare action from Vega. Sorry, I tabbed out for a hot second there. But it looks like just a prepare. Oh, no. It was the high jump boosted to retreat to the corner. We're going to see the Flex Nurture boosted from 9. So this basically allows you to go dig further through the deck. Draw 3, then shuffle 2 cards from your hand into your deck. 1, 2. Nope, 2. Shuffle it, and then draw for end of turn. So, I mean, the math checks out in that you discard 1 card, you do draw 2 cards, but you look at 4. Or you look at the top 3 cards of your discard, right? And then you can send cards from your hand back as well. So actually a pretty good boost. Probably just digging for a block if I had to guess. Against this power 10 crit flying Barcelona that's coming through. Like a... Kugath prepares. Does Kugath not have the flying Barcelona? Maybe he just doesn't have it. Maybe I lost track of the second flying Barcelona. I feel like the first one's parried, but I have no idea what happened to the second one. So yeah, don't know what's going on there. Zain prepares in turn, back to Vega here. Wonder if Kugath is waiting to... No, he just goes for the flying Barcelona now. Does Zain have the block? Otherwise, this is going to be a 10 damage flying Barcelona incoming. With the critical. At speed 4. So obviously nothing 9 has hits at range 3, range 8 except for the Kunzite, but that's speed 3. Zain actually has all his normal steel. That's pretty good. Wait, Zain can dodge with... Not that. What is Zain expecting? I was about to say, Zain can totally dodge the flying Barcelona with this, right? Because this advances 4. It advances to here. Flying Barcelona would fly here and then go here and miss. Oh, wait. The Emerald of Enmity hits range 3 to 8. God, 9. What a character. There was the answer the whole time, and I just completely forgot about this. This to me is like such a good... It's just like such a good card, but I forget it hits 3 to 8. God, 9, man. Just 9 things. Now we're going to see the reading come out from Zain. Yeah, that's just matchup unfamiliarity. Honestly, I forgot this hits 3 to 8 too. Reading whiffs. Nothing from Kugath's hand hits, however. This is probably like a reading assault or dive into a Navy pressure. Yeah. Sorry, I just forgot this card hits. Don't forget that. Don't forget this card hits 3 to 8 for some ungodly reason. Very cool gameplay. Very cool gameplay. I guess 9 was just kind of screwed from the start there. Or Vega was just kind of screwed from the start there, huh? Wow. What a character, man. What a character 9 is. Dang, what a card. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'll undercut the Navy pressure, I guess. As Vega approaches to range 3 off the RCF. Notably, a lot of Vega's Wild Swings I feel like would have been hit by this Navy pressure, but Vega Wild Swings the RCF instead. Vega moves to range 3. Has a bunch of cards in hand. Spends 2 force to move to range 1. I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea why. This is just gonna be met with a Lapis Lazuli of Lamentation, which we know is in the hand of Zain, I'm pretty sure. Which is a 1/2/7 after advance 4. It's actually just a sweep, which will pop the defenses of Pounce. GG. It was actually not the Lapis Lazuli of Lamentation. I got outread too. I got outread at the end there too, actually. But no. Lapis Lazuli of Lamentation would have been caught by this Pounce, but Zain one step ahead of both me and Kugath there at the end, and plays the sweep to counter the Pounce. And that is GG. Game 1 goes to Zain. And man, I can't believe I forgot this hits 3-8. What a ridiculous card. What a ridiculous character. What a character, man. 9 the Phantom, everybody. Zain takes game 1 in rather dominant fashion, actually. Just off the back of her actually having a second full board option that I just completely forgot about. Zain actually ended up stealing all of his normals there. That's pretty rare to see. But very cool to see, actually. A 9 steal all of her normals like that. I think I've only done it myself once. I can't believe I forgot this is 3-8. What am I thinking, man? What am I thinking? This just beats all of Vega's options unless they're EX'd. Or they're defend boosted. I mean, I guess Kugath didn't know that either. But, man, what a card, what a character. Anyway, Zain takes game 1. He can no longer pick 9. He has to win his second game with either the Yuzuriha or the Carmine. Kugath can repick Vega, or he can go to his Polar Knight, he can go to his Arcune, he can go to his Merkava. I don't remember who we played against. I think he played Polar against Migo, and then played Vega against Migo. But let's see what Kugath goes for here. I wonder if Zain picked Carmine because he felt like he had to pick Carmine. Wonder if he actually picks Carmine in this matchup against an opponent that doesn't have a Carmine, or whether he goes for the Yuzu, which I know is a character that he plays more than the Carmine. Or at least I think that's my read, is that he plays more Yuzu than Carmine. Big apologies there on missing the. God, it feels like I've been off my game recently as far as commentary is concerned. I always miss one option. Because like I don't pay. Sometimes I just forget certain cards and kits, but only when I'm spectating, not when I'm playing. So it's kind of weird. But I'll try to do better. I definitely miss the fact that. On top of the 3-4-2-6 as being an insane card, I completely miss that it hits full board for some reason. I guess the character needed it, I don't know. Well, Zain looks like he's ready with his character pick. Kugath's still choosing. Notably, Zain, one of the few players that did not choose the 4-character to put 4 characters in his roster. See, there was an additional option in this tournament that if you wanted to pick a character from each season, you could pick 4 characters instead of your standard 3. Zain, one of the few players that did not opt for this, doubled up on season 6 actually, getting the 9 or getting Yuzuriha alongside the Carmine and 9. There you go, 2 very good characters that rhyme. Yeah, man, I gotta do a better job of paying attention to cards and reading them when I'm casting. I feel like the past couple of days I've just been off my game. I have no idea why. Maybe I've been preoccupied with other pursuits, but I'll try to do better. Anyway, we're gonna see the run back from Kugath here on the Vega, on the Claw, and Zain will bring out the Yuzuriha. So we'll take a look at Yuzuriha's kit here. Yuzuriha has an Assault Shape. Here's a pretty fun mid-speed that can hit for 8 power pretty reliably, and then an Advanced Retreat 8. Here's a Spike that hits at range 4 and has extra guard on it. Here's a bad card. And here's like a sweep-like, I guess. That loses really hard to sweep, but trades well into a good number of cards. Also has the focus property of being unable to be moved. Casho's an ultra that's basically always going to hit, and this is a boost. So there you go. That's the kit of Yuzu. Not too difficult to examine there. We'll take a look at the UA. UA on front side is just key charge. On back side, Yuzu can perform. She can use the ability that's on this boost, just as her UA. So she can strike with a random card with her gauge. So you can either play this one of two ways. You can play it as to try to put like, you can set like a 50-50 setup here. I guess three ways. You can do like a 50-50 setup. You can do like a 100% guaranteed 6 power assault shape, right? Because Yuzu has 2 of those. Or you can be absolutely unhinged and go just put random cards in there and then let Jesus take the wheel. But pretty fun character, pretty good character. Has a couple good boosts as well, right? This character is blessed with Swift and Deadly, which is an awesome boost. Unsheath is obviously insane. Not over yet. Extra range, always a good boost, but look at that caveat. Very good as well. That's just a bad card. Tryhard, I mean, has a fierce, not extra fierce. It also has a swift and. So pretty decent character overall. Looks like Vega will be opting to go first here. No reason to go second. Let's see if Vega can zone Yuzu out a little bit. Yuzu is definitely a character that loves the close range, maybe range around range 3s where she likes to stand a lot. Can threaten a super assault super spike mix up with just having all those options available to her, the ones that we just saw. Maybe Vega wants to keep his distance a little bit against that, so we'll see if that's the case. Okay, I saw Yuzuriha Mole. I did not see Vega Mole yet. Unless, of course, Vega's mulling 0. Vega is mulling 0, and opts to prepare turn 1. Yuzu will boost Ansel Loss, +1 power, +1 speed. Notably, her only range 4 option her only 2 range 4 options are Bad Card and Super Spike at 6 power, 4 speed. We'll see the Claw boosted from Vega. So this is +1 range and your attacks are critical. Very, very, very strong boost. If not a little, it's definitely a little bit expensive, right? So Vega's a character whose resource game can be stretched in any number of different ways, right? So you can use your resources to exceed. You can use your resources to play ultras. You can use your resources to play boosts, etc., right? We're going to see Kugath here opt for the early Claw. So Vega does have a range 3 mix-up here if he wants to opt into it. Yuzu strikes into this. I wonder if Yuzu's playing Spike. It is the Spike. So yeah, the reason Yuzu plays Spike here, and I didn't really get to explain it, right? So the Assault will go first, but the Spike is not stunned. Yeah, so the Spike will hit back for 6 and stun Vega out. So that early Claw expenditure drops out. Yuzu builds 2 early gauge as well. A 5er and a 6er as well. And yeah, this Super Spike, I mean, performed really well into whatever Vega's playing, especially when Vega drops a dive like that. I guess Vega just has to kind of foresee it and play something like an RCF wouldn't have worked. Pounce doesn't work. Sky High doesn't work. Flying Barcelona doesn't work. Scarlet Terror also doesn't work. Was the only card that in that mix-up that beat Tachi actually the second copy of Dive? Funnily enough. Huh. Yeah, so turns out this Tachi performed super well into Vega's combat card, whatever Vega chose to play there. Which tells me that this Claw boost was definitely not... That was not the correct time for Claw. since everything lost to Tachi. See Vega spend 1 force in the form of Grasp to move to range 1. Back to Zain here. Range 2 usually has a little bit of a blind spot outside of her Ultra. As we see Zain perform a key charge, putting the Kiri into gauge. That's going to be a 7 power Kiri, which will empower the Casho to hit for 7 as well. At range 1, when you see the Grasp drop, this Casho is pretty free on offense, I guess, when you see 1 copy of Grasp drop like that. Because Casho is a speed 6, doesn't stun, but, like, are you really going to see a Vega initiate with a Pounce here? Or, like, even worse, like a mid-speed? I don't think so. I do not think so. Anyway, back to Vega here. Vega initiates a strike at range 1. Has long side of the board, so slows look better. Since Yuzu cannot cross out. However, Yuzu does have the advanced 4 option available to her if she wants. I don't think we would see Vega move up to range 1 and cross, however. So I feel like Casho will always hit here, because I really highly doubt this is a cross. Yuzu actually says, okay, we'll play a Grasp instead. It is the sweep. The slow option that we said right away, because Vega had long side of the board. So could not cross out of this, but Yuzu could have obviously done Casho here, which is a cross-up shape, I guess. Speed 6 after advance 4 to beat the sweep. But no, Grasp into sweep. Yuzu takes 6, Vega takes 3. Yuzu pushes Vega back to range 3, which makes sense, complete sense to me. I mean, yeah, makes complete sense to me. We're going to see Vega drop a Flying Barcelona to wall leap to the other side. So Vega now has corner, so he has +2 power on his specials and ultras. At range 2, though, however. Range 2 threatens our close options, so our close options on this kit are Scarlet Terror, and where's the other one? Pounce. We see Yuzu spent 1 force to exceed, so we'll take a look at the gauge here. This gauge here loses really hard to mid speeds. I wonder if... I don't know if Yuzu can initiate with this kind of gauge. I don't think it's recommend... So, we'll take a look here. So, Yuzu on an action... First of all, her attacks have all have cleanup, discard your attack. So, Yuzu can no longer build gauge in this mode. Furthermore, she can use her action to strike with a random card from her gauge face-up with +2 power, +1 speed. The only issue is 2 of these cards lose to Scarlet Terror, and Kiri's like doesn't perform great against Scarlet Terror, right? Because this is going to be a 5 power crit Scarlet Terror coming in. So exceeding there is definitely a curious decision. I wonder if this is going to be an exceed. No, it's definitely not an exceed to revert. I mean, it could be. Maybe Zain wants to put an additional card in his gauge. Zain going for it. Okay, so I mean, this just all loses to... I mean, Assault only loses to Kiri. Scarlet Terror only loses to Kiri. There you go. Obviously, it's got to be a crit Scarlet Terror. Yeah, it is going to be the crit performed. Yeah, and here's the Scarlet Terror at 6 speed. We'll close to and pop the Itachi. Vega will deal 5 damage to Yuzuriha and will not be stunned, however cannot hit. Yeah, this is crazy from Zain. I have no idea what he's doing. is absolutely unhinged. Furthermore, Tachi also gets discarded. So Zain actually losing gauge there. Now has the Ultra and the Kiri left in his gauge. Back to Vega here. Wonder if Vega just spends one force to retreat back to the corner here. Doesn't seem so bad. Vega boosts a light at range 1, where speed doesn't matter. TM. Curious decision. I wonder why Vega is boosting at range 1. We're going to see Yuzu revert, pop in the Saki into the gauge. We'll take a second action as well. Let's think about initiating a strike into a light, maybe? Goes for the tech hit. No, okay. So Zain says, "I'm not dealing with this light. Don't know what's threatening. So why deal with it?" And Yuzu will initiate a strike here at range 1. Down to grasp. So more than likely, this is probably gonna be a slow if I had to guess. No, it's actually the Kasho. Interesting. So Zain like totally willing to trade with anything, right? Because Kasho doesn't stun, and Yuzu remains at range 1. What a curious decision, because if Zain traded there, he'd be at like 9 life to Vega's 15. He'd be in the corner. So Vega has all the room in the world on long side of the board just to retreat. Very, very, very interesting. Vega prepares. Back to Yuzu here. Sitting at range 1. In the corner against Vega, will prepare in turn. Second Kasho, notably, looks way better than the first one, because Yuzu can basically dodge anything outside of like a Pounce or like a Soul Read Sky High Claw. So second Kasho looks a lot better than this first one from Zain. Wonder if that's an option that's being considered. I believe it is Vega's turn still. Vega just prepares up to 7. Back to Yuzu here. Yuzu prepares. Back to Vega. Still staying at range 1. This Vega actually really likes staying at range 1. I've noticed. I don't know if it's because of card quality or just more comfortable here, or I don't know why, but this Vega has been standing at range 1 quite a bit, I feel like. Has all the space in the world behind him if he wants to take it. See the parry come out from Vega. Wonder what card gets parried. I actually have no idea what you parry here. Is Vega. Second Casho. Maybe an over here you parry. If you're scared of Unsheath. Parry misses. We see a hand of every special except for the 3 to 5 and a 1 to 7 to pair that with. Notably, I think at least one reading is up for Vega, if not both of them. So that's something that Zain will have to be worried of. He does have a couple exploitable normals. Actually, they're all exploitable. I mean, getting your focus or sweep red into a sweep is actually really bad because like Vega can literally initiate a point blank critical flying Barcelona for 7, and that would be a massive advantage for Vega. So I think Yuzu does have to CC these normals away. Lest Zain wishes to risk getting hit by a reading. Which I feel like, I mean, Zane's a player that knows all about reading, right? So I think he's going to try to play against it. We're actually just going to see the Unsheath come out. So this is a +2 power, +1 speed, now strike. The only issue is we have an Ultra that we cannot pay for. So when this Ultra, when you cannot pay for the Ultra, you must actually Wild Swing here. So, I mean, it's a 9 power Curie or a Wild Swing. So you can't necessarily risk, or you can, but it's a risk, would be a crit Flying Barcelona to attempt to pop the Curie or trade with the Wild Swing of Yuzu. But this is pretty spicy. This is a pretty spicy mix-up here. You can just pretty much opt out of it just with a cross. And then just hope that the next card isn't super fast. That's one way of dealing with it. You can play like a slow guarded option, and just hope that the next card isn't like a sweep, for example, right? So you can play your own sweep as Vega here, and hope that the top card isn't sweep. That performs relatively well. Decent number of options a good number of routes that Vega can take here, depending on how he wants to deal with the mix-up. Threatened by Zain here. Okay, Zain reveals the Ultra, so you'll be Wild Swinging this. And it's going to be a 6 power, 6 speed Yaichirin that will advance out of the range of focus. So Zain will advance 3, Vega will take 4 damage, not stunned, so we'll draw a card. And Zain will yoink advantage here. So Unsheath working out in his favor. Vega boosts respect, takes the corner. Yuzu boost respect, takes the corner here against Vega. Makes perfect sense to me. Take a look at respect real quick. At the start of your turn, draw 2 and discard this. Now advance up to 3. Back to Vega here, who again has all the space in the world if he wants. Now life totals, however, are even. Just gonna go ahead and assume that Vega didn't have a grasp in hand, because is there any difference between 5? I think that for Yuzu in that case, there's actually no difference between 6 power and 7 power, or 6 defense and 7 defense as Vega into Yuzu there, right? Because Yuzu does not have a range 1 option that hits for 5 damage, right? So that tells me that Vega doesn't have a sweep in hand, or like a crit pounce, which would have hit. Although crit pounce, I can see why you'd use focus over crit pounce, because crit pounce spends the gauge. But sweep, unless you want to mitigate damage and hit back for not as hard, sweep performs better than focus there for the reason that this card exists. We see Vega spend 4 force in the form of an Ultra and 2 other cards I didn't see. to move back to range 5. The respect will go off. Zain will draw 2 cards. At range 5, Yuzu only has one very pathetic option. Sometimes it's not pathetic, but most of the time it's pathetic. It's Saki, 3 to 5, 7, 1. If you set this from gauge, stun immunities, so 3 to 5, 7, 1. We say this every single time, but Season 6 characters have multiple ways of advancing with their normals because they have both Respect and Air Dash, so we're going to see the Air Dash come out from Yuzu running to range 2. Yuzu discards second copy of Tachi for end of turn. Notably, Vega discarded a Cross to move back. I don't know, I just feel like Kugath's Cross game has been relatively weak, right? The only time he struck with Cross was when he was at range 3, and then swung with a Cross, and then got hit by the pull 5 card. And then now multiple times has discarded Cross, and then to get quote-unquote punished, his opponent has moved to range 2. And Cross here, I mean, gets you a gauge, puts you in the corner. Really, really beautiful. Really, really simple stuff. Sorry, not simple, but like very like obvious play, but just because it's an obvious play doesn't mean it's not going to work like so often. Although maybe Yuzu has EX Cross available to her. Yuzu at range 2 threatening a 7 damage Kasho, which would certainly give Yuzu a lead, although Vega can always trade back. We're going to see Vega prepare here. Back to Yuzu. Yuzu boosts Swift and Deadly, advancing 2, taking short side of the board, and striking from range 1. Short side of the board could imply a Kasho, honestly. Kasho to advance out to here. Although Yuzu down a bunch of range 4 options, I think she has just one copy of Tachi left after a Kasho. But Kasho would do 7 damage and would be very difficult to catch for Vega. Unless it was hard red with like a crit pounce or something. Obviously it can just be fast slow here for Yuzu as well, so like a Grasp or Sweep Focus or Kiri. All these options make sense to me. Vega just has to call it right here. I wonder if this is the... I think we've seen Zain go for the range 1 Kasho before. It's a play in his repertoire, so maybe he goes for that. I don't know. It's really a toss-up what this is. Kugath just has to call it correctly. Kugath is critting this, so crit pounce, maybe, is his response. It's just a focus. It is the crit pounce. Crit pounce will go first hit for 3 damage into the focus. Focus will hit back for 2. Kugath will discard a card from Zain's hand, and then Zain will replenish it. Drops the sweep. Yep. And Kugath takes 2 damage back. Back to Vega here. Vega now on long side of the board again, so can retreat out there if he so chooses, and force Yuzuriha to move in. We'll see the high jump boosted. Yep, and he adds it to gauge. Move 3, if you move past your opponent, add this to gauge. Vega takes corner. Pretty standard stuff here. Back to Yuzu here. I believe Yuzu has EX Cross to deal with whatever Vega throws. Don't even need EX Cross anymore. The Ancient Lost is now threatening a 7-speed cross from Vega. From Yuzu, sorry, so Vega will have to try to defend against that. Doesn't really perform well into a 7-speed cross without a claw or something like that. We're going to see a reading come out here. Reading whiffs. No. Interesting. So no cross in the hand of Zain. I guess cross puts Zain in a bad position afterwards, which is something I didn't really consider. I mean, it was just a free combat win. But then it's a question of then what, right? But depending on what was read, notably no crit spent for Vega here. So I have no idea what this could be. Depends on what was read. It wasn't a focus or sweep, so I don't think this is a spike. Unless, of course, block was read. So like a 7 damage sweep looks... Oh, actually, no. Thing is, I mean, Vega's in the corner, so you probably want the extra defenses. It is the spike. What was read? Was block red? Anyway, Vega takes 5. Boost gets scarred, of course. Sorry, Yuzu takes 5. Now is a hand of what? 2. I wish I had taken a note of that. I think there was this ultra, there was a sweep. Was there a spike? I don't remember the hand. I have no idea what was read in that scenario. You see Yuzu spend 2 force to change cards 2, draw 3. Back to Kugath here. 2 gauge, notably, so Casho no longer up. Although Casho looks difficult to play in this board state when you're down to your last 7 life. So I don't blame Zain for doing that at this juncture. Can build up a gauge later for when Casho is more useful. But Zain really does need to win a strike clean to come back in this game. So I don't blame Zain for spending the gauge to CC here. Although I mean, it's a little bit of a weird CC, right? Because you only dig 1 card deeper. I would have expected Zain to maybe change some of the cards in his hand to do so, right? So he can dig further in his deck. So I think spending gauge for the CC is fine, but only if you spend cards in your hand to do so. Because Zain basically spent 2 force to draw 1 additional card, which is which is a super expensive conversion rate. 2 gauge for 1 card. So that's actually a little bit of a curious decision. Coming back to that. I wonder what card Zain is, like, kind of very desperately taking for, I guess is the best way to describe a CC2 in that scenario. Kind of very aggressively taking for it. Also not really. There you go. As Kugath is now taking the time to track cards. Yuzu with 7 cards in hand, 5 cards left in deck. Notably, 4 of these 7 cards are known. 1's a sweep, I know that. I don't remember what the rest is. We're see Vega spend 3 gauge to succeed. Vega had built a good number of gauge at that point. So now a threat we're looking at is a 1/2 6/7 Scarlet Terror. When crit, of course. To attempt to finish the game off. Although it doesn't really finish the game off, but hey, it'll put Yuzu down to 1. That's definitely the plan A for Vega, feels like, in this scenario. So Zain will have to watch out for that. Zain now taking a good amount of time checking the discard, maybe thinking of going for a reading. I think Zain spent 1 dive previously, so I think the second one is still up. Would have to be a pretty impactful reading, though, because Vega is super favored in this strike, it feels like. Although Vega, there's a good chance Vega doesn't even have the second Scarlet Terror. Only 4 cards in hand, 7 cards in deck. We're actually just going to see the Superior boosted from Zain. We'll take a look at this boost. Your next attack is considered to be EX. So you can't double EX it, but it gets teched immediately, of course. Back to Yuzu here. Yep, Yuzu boosts second copy. There goes the EX cross. Which is a win now button, but of course Yuzu must ask herself then what, you know? If Yuzu plays it defensively, though, until Vega exceeded, EX Cross was a super good defensive option, right? But once Vega exceeds, that Scarlet Terror becomes speed 7, and that's a problem. With Superior boosted, however, Vega's 1 2 6 7 looks pretty good. Still can be mixed up with something like a second pounce would look pretty good here. And here comes the crit. Crit strike from Vega. Here's the telegraph. 1 2 6 7. Here's a mix-up option, I guess. Like a 1 8 4, 1 9 4. Nope, we're just gonna go for the obvious option here. Yomi level 0. Yomi layer 0, excuse me. It's gonna be a 6 power Scarlet Terror met by the EX block. Notably, now both Scarlet Terrors down. Vega running a little bit low on options, only 3 in hand, 6 in gauge. Yuzu actually spends a gauge, and will Zain spend a second one? The second one will only mitigate 1 remaining damage, of course, because this is an EX block, but maybe worth it. Maybe there's a difference between 6 HP and 7. There actually almost assuredly is, so maybe this would be worth. Maybe Zain spends an Ultra from hand instead. Nope. Decides to spend the etc. again. And and considering spending, nope, spends the assault, will take no damage off the critical Scarlet Terror. Back to Zain here. At range 1, Vega no longer in the corner, at least. Just Defense boosted from Yuzu. Plus 3 armor, now strike. Telegraphing maybe a mid-speed here. No, over here looks really bad with a NA power thing. I was gonna say over here is a really good, decent card to telegraph here, but I don't think it's over here. But this telegraphs like a mid-speed, or maybe even a slow, maybe even like a focus, just with 6 armor. Decent boost, although sweep does see a lot more use than just defense, I feel like. But Zain only has 7 options left in his deck, so, and maybe if half of those don't make sense, then maybe Vega can suss out what this can be. Vega actually looking at his own discard like he's about to Wild Swing here. Counting his Wild Swing odds, 6 cards left in deck for Vega. Vega says, no, I'm going to respond with a card from hand, and then reconsiders. Yeah, should really look at what options are left up, yeah? Wonder if it's a Kiri. I feel like both Kiris were spent, no? So Kiri performs really well with Just Defense, because it makes it more power. It actually deceptively, like, adds more power to it, right? As well. It's going to be the Grasp. It is the Kiri. Oh no. Oh no, that's so bad. Grasp is an interesting option into Just Defense because Grasp will never stun anything. So Yuzu will always get a chance to hit back. So Grasp is definitely a curious card into the Just Defense. Anyway, Grasp will do 0 damage to the Kiri. Kiri will hit back for 7. Life totals are now even. 7 to 7. That 7 into gauge as well with the grasp expenditure means that this Casho is lethal and is looking pretty good. As long as Vega doesn't have any armor. You see Vega spend 1 force in the form of Assault to move back to range 2. Notably, Scarlet Terrors are down, so that is not a threat that beats Casho. Vega just needs to have armor to try to beat Casho here. I wonder if Zain just swings with the Casho, even. Oh, actually, no. Bloody High Claw. Well played by Zain here. Bloody High Claw is another option that would beat the Casho at speed 7. So we're going to see a mix-up to range 3 here from Yuzu into what is a telegraphed Casho, but could be something else, obviously. Does Vega have the block? The armor. Vega put himself in this scenario, so I'm assuming Vega has a block or armor, unless Vega just put himself in the corner for kicks. But like we said, both Scarlet Terrors are down at speed 7, so this mix-up to range 3 was very smart from Zain. Very well done. That's the threat. That, of course, would also hit at speed 7 with the 3 gauge that Vega sneakily built up. By sneakily, I mean I didn't notice, but there you go. That would have been a, 10 power Bloody High Claw for 3 gauge at speed 7. 1 to 2, 10, 7. Not a bad stat line. But Vega, Yuzu, too good for that. Zain, too good for that. And avoids that beautifully with the mix-up. So I guess Vega must ask, is Yuzu playing Casho, and do I have armor for this? It's like, a crit pounce, for example, would be lethal. I don't know if that's an option that's up, though. If it pounces up, and it's not in the hand, a critical wild swing's in order, right? Otherwise, you just go for a regular wild swing. Because crit matters on that one specific card. So if it's up for Vega, which I don't know, because I haven't been paying close enough attention, then a crit wild swing's in order, otherwise a regular wild swing's in order, unless there's armor in the hand of Vega right now. If there's a focus, you just go for the focus, I think, yeah? Draw a card, maybe you'll find a way to close out the game. There's a block, play the block. I think both spikes are down, and both Tachis are down, I believe. And you also don't die from spikes, so. Otherwise, please just find some armor. Any way you can. Vega checking his own discard pile pretty frantically, trying to find an answer to this Casho threat. Let's take a look at this card again. 1 to 4, 7, 6. After advance 4, this attack does not stun. However, it does kill. Wild Swing, no crit. It is the Casho, it is the Sky High Claw. Yuzuriha takes the set 2-0. Almost with the Executioner there. Almost put the 0 on top. There's the Pounce, but for some reason Vega didn't crit. So Vega would have lost anyway? Yeah, as Kugath shakes the grasp, because he was supposed to critical Wild Swing that, because there was a Pounce left. And that crit pounce would have won and would have saved him. But it's the Sky High Claw that was on top. Zain takes us at 2-0. 9 over Vega, super convincing. This game a little bit closer for Yuzu, but ends up winning with Casho, which is just such a good card. As Yuzu dabs on the opponent here in the art. Zain takes us at 2-0, will move on to 1-1. Still has a shot to make playoffs. Kugath, it will be a little bit more difficult for him to make playoffs. Notably, I believe maybe 1 or 2 3-2s will make it through. But Zain, that 9 looked really good from Zain. A lot better than the last 9 game I casted from him. So it's always good to see. GG's in the chat. No chat, because we're not live. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the content. Again, I really do feel like I'm slipping a little bit. I'll have to do a better job of keeping track of options or reading cards, really, like forgetting that Emerald hits 3 to 8, as Kugath did, but I did too, and I kind of play 9, so that's a little bit egregious for me. I will try to improve on that. But hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, feel free to leave a like, leave a subscribe, leave a follow, or hit the bell, rather. Do all that good stuff. Thank you guys for your support. Hope you guys enjoyed the content. We'll have another game coming your way tomorrow, I believe. So stay tuned for that. And, of course, we will see you next time. And until then, take care. Bye-bye.